What is going on, guys? We are up almost $10,000 today off of one trade. We took shorts off the ES a little bit after the open. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, so hopefully you can replicate it for the rest of the week, guys. Here was the setup, right? As soon as we got out, it's no news Monday, so we were expecting a slower bit of a move, but Trump spoke as soon as we got out of the trade, just causing it to dump massively for a decent bit of time. But here is the daily plan we send to the mentorship students every single day. Also watch rejection of 6840 supply for a move back into VWAP in the 6800s. Didn't take it all the way to the 6800s, but we did take it to VWAP. This is the supply level we were looking at right up here. We had off the open 6840 supply, rejection off that level first. And let's walk through the whole setup, whole position. Walk through our entry triggers, why we took the setup even off bullish news, and kind of show you my thought process live during this trade. This trade was live with the mentorship students, so I do record everything and send it to them afterwards. But let's go ahead and recap everything we're doing. Before that, we are up almost $46,000 for the month, and it's only day 10. So looking like a great month ahead of us. No losses at all this month. One break even, 5 trades total. So I'm not going to complain. Not going to complain. So off the open, right, you start to see us aggressively push up into supply. So again, we were super bullish off the gap, shifted back to bullish on the 4-hour time frame. Also, something that I sent my students yesterday, that we do this again every single Sunday after we do the live class with them, is my kind of plan and my outlook for the rest of the week. If you want to pause this and read this, go ahead and do it. Also kind of do it in video format. But kind of exactly what we expected off this gap up, us holding above that 4-hour lower high into making a new 4-hour high, a new 4-hour lower or higher low, making the market back to a bullish structure. So we even have bullish news, again, the government shutdown ending, everything like that, but that was priced in off the gap. Even in my shorts today off the live trading, a lot of people are like, why do you take shorts? Other people are going against my shorts. I'm like, guys, this is what I do every day, right? Bullish news was priced in. Perfect trigger here for shorts. In supply, everything was lying, and we were patient off of the entry, right? What we did as we pushed into supply, we waited for a low and we waited for a lower high before even considering taking this position in the first place, right? And again, it's a big thing. Order flow was so key today. Yeah, we aggressively opened, push into supply, but what do we see in supply? Massive amount of buy-side absorption, which caused this massive squeeze to the downside. All this buy-side absorption. Let's take a look at Bookmap, right? What do we see off Bookmap? Crazy buy-side absorption. Make this a little bit bigger for you guys, right? Let's go back. Right here. We had our alerts go off twice. Buy-side absorption, twice hit, right? Our entry trigger was simple. We pushed up into aggressively into supply. Saw a little bit of exhaustion here, right? Sold off, and right here when we made that second lower high, we saw exhaustion from buyers. Right here is the entry. A seller filling a pretty big passive buy offer and making a bid below price. Automatically, I'm in. Now, it was no news Monday, so we expected some chop. Our stop loss placement was perfect, right? Above the high, above that 9 or 835 offer that got placed a couple hours ago before the open, right? Offer that's been there for a couple hours, respected once, respected twice, respected 3-4 times. Then we have that massive sell-off come in. And as soon, I was very cautious because it was no news Monday, and usually I expect chop, but off the open was so aggressive and so strong, had so much volume that kind of gave me a good understanding. Okay, today you might honestly see some movements because the volume off the open was so strong. I usually base the open volume if it's above average. Usually the average volume off the open is about 32K. Today it was 41K with massive buy-side delta. So we were looking for shorts only after we put in this lower high, after we saw the absorption, after we saw the exhaustion, and after we saw the seller come in, fill that passive buy offer, which I need every single time for my mechanical entry trigger, right? Right here, every time. We took about 11.5 points off the setup. Could have let it run for a lot more, but since it was no news Monday, I was totally okay with taking that small win, small trade for almost, it was $9,000 today, so we're only into 15 contracts. Could not be more happier. Usually I size down on Monday. Tomorrow we will not be trading because it is Veterans Day. It's a bank holiday. Yes, the market will still be open, but I'm not touching it. I'm staying away from bank holidays. I'm going to go touch some grass, not even looking at the market. Neither should you, where I stay away from bank holidays. But coming into the setup, right, what I like to do first is I went break even as soon as I had a reason to. A lot of people were going break even in this chop and just ended up getting stopped out before the major move happened. I need a reason to do everything. So whenever we put in this low, right here, it's like, okay, the market goes into this low. It's a good enough of a reason for me to go break even because we reject off this price before. We saw massive buyers here. So if we touch this level again, I'll go break even because, again, we're chopping around. It's no news Monday. Volume is being really shitty just in case to keep my downside protected because, again, we rejected off this level once. If we reject off this level again, we probably will see a breakout to the upside, at least a liquidity grab to the upside right here. And again, right, As soon as it tapped this level, we went break even. Then we had a nice move down into VWAP, took profits at VWAP. Then we sold off 1 billion points afterwards. It's the way she goes, man. Shout out Trump for that, if you know what I mean. Same thing happened to me, when was this? Last week. Got out, market then tanked. Shout out Trump again. So, I mean, the thing y'all should be doing, guys, is being happy with the trades you take and not being super greedy. Same thing I tell people when they ask me for life advice is, if you're not grateful for what you have, you won't get more. Same thing with the market. If you're not grateful for your 10, 15 points, you're not going to get any more. Greed is going to kill your profits. Greed is going to kill your P&L, and greed is going to kill your accounts. Be happy with what you have, right? And super big, because trying to catch those home runs on a daily basis is stupid. It's not going to work. You're not going to get a home run every single day. It's much more realistic to catch those small moves on the daily basis and go for a massive home run and just end up drying yourself out because you're being greedy. So I'll rather take these small moves, especially with prop firm accounts, guys. Like, for example, if your goal is to cop trade multiple prop firm accounts, right, multiple accounts, a 10-point move with the max amount of accounts you can have using like a trade copier will make you like 20K off a 10-point move. Why do you need more than that, right? I know right now, maybe on your one account, maybe on your one funded, your one, eval account, it's nothing, a 10-point move. But think about the long-term goal. If you can get consistent with a 10-point move on one account, you do the same thing when you have 50 accounts, and your profits will be times 50. So just keep that in mind, guys. Have that long-term perspective. Don't get discouraged by, making small amount of money here or there. Just know that in the long run, you will have a much better chance going for small moves than trying to hit home runs every single day. Now, let's talk about the rest of the week, how y'all can prepare and what kind of to do moving forward, guys. And again, let's walk through this entry trigger one more time. It's a trigger we've been taking forever, and it works amazingly, right? You have to see one thing first. And again, since this was bears, right? Since this was a short with a bullish structure and an aggressive move up, we waited for a structure shift first instead of just going in right away off this absorption. Let's just break this down again. We have here, right, a 35 level and validation level, right, with this offer level. You keep seeing sellers come in. We push into that 35 level, which is a supply level of super strong aggressive buyers. So we need a structure shift first. We then see absorption. Great. Then we see a low put in and a lower high. Great. There's a structure shift, right? And then we see a exhaustion off that lower high. Basically means buyers got weak. And then we see, you can even look at the footprint chart, buyers got weak. And then we see a seller come in, fill a passive buy offer, and hold below price. Everything I need to paint me the picture, and we're in right away. Look how perfect our stop loss placement was as well above this 35 offer. We got a tick away from getting stopped out, and the market then floods and sells off without us. So again, we took this trade live with the mentorship students. If you're interested in joining the mentorship, there's an application link down below. I suggest you apply as soon as you possibly can, because we go through all of them. We first come, first serve. So even if it's not open right now and you apply, we'll text you when it is open. So no rush, no need there. And again, it's the only way to watch this trade live every day, plus a lot more, and be able to take these same trades I take. But again, let's talk about what we could do and how to prepare for the rest of the week. Now, again, the market's pretty bullish, right? We had a gap up back in the 4 hour, making new highs in the 4 hour, higher lows in the 4 hour, and actually we're respecting and holding demand. This is part of my pre-market plan as well that I post, right? Longs off these 800s. Exactly what happened. Super, super simple. Now, more to look for here, right, is I think the market will continue to be bullish unless we see big man Trump come up and just talk about tariffs, talk about some crazy shit. The market will continue to be bullish. So what I'm going to be doing next coming weeks is watching for closes above supply, right, or weak sell-offs into demand to give us those longs. So currently what I'm watching right now is if we close above the 35s retest, I'm watching for longs in the 44s, longs in the 60s. If we close above the 44, same thing. Right here we have supply within supply within supply. I know that's a tongue twister, but we've been seeing that a lot recently. We've had to adapt. That's why these levels are just there to kind of base off, to base your entries. Just because we're in supply does not mean we're going to sell off. Just because we're in demand does not mean we're going to get bought back up. You have to use these levels, and you have to use volume, combine these levels to actually make your plan. Because if you start pushing up into supply, right, like we did here, and we keep seeing aggressive buyers above this first supply level, above the second supply level, above this third supply level, I'm going to be looking for longs, not shorts. So if we push up into supply, right, and we see, instead of absorption, if we see these amount of buyers close above our supply levels, so close above either the 35s, close above the 44s, or close above these 60s, I'm going to be looking for retests back into that level for longs. If we close up here, I'm going to look for longs into the 44s. If we close up here, I'm going to look for longs into these 60s. If we close up here, I'm going to look for longs all the way into these 80s. So which play is better? A small 10-point move, a small 15-point move, or a big, what is this, 55's big 30-point move? Obvious, right? I'll be more aggressive if we break above this level than I would be if we broke above this level, just because the room for my take profit is much greater. My R&R is going to be much greater because there's so much room into the next coming supply level, which is basically just liquidity, just sitting, right? But that's what we're watching for. If we continue to be bearish, what I want to see is a close underneath these 95s, retest, same thing as this, for a move into the gap fill, right? But if we push back into supply and we see this, we see volume dying out, we see massive absorption, I'll look for shorts. But just like we did today, we wait for a structure shift. If the market was super, super bearish, I wouldn't wait for us to put in a lower high and a new low. I would just get in right away because the market's super bearish, right? Same thing now, the market's super bullish. I'm not going to wait for a structure shift. I'm going to get in right away and be aggressive on these longs, especially above these 60s, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoy these kind of recap videos. I can post them daily. If you guys think it will help you, just put it down below in the comments. And again, appreciate you guys. I have a free course coming out. Probably not going to be in this description. It's going to be probably in the next couple of videos I'll put in the description, but it's called the One and Done course. Some of y'all might be in it already. I'm letting y'all test it out. Give me feedback before I release it to the general public. But without further ado, guys, I will see y'all later. Peace out. Post down below in the comments how you did, any questions, any video ideas, and I'll get back to you. I'll see you.